Hey YouTube, gonna come at you with what is gonna be two videos on the Hisui Cup league, and that's because I have three teams because I had to pivot a bunch because Niantic has once again shown their incompetence and absolutely no caring about this aspect of the game. So, uh, yesterday in the top teams video, I went over here's the information on the GBL on the website. It is a Hisui Cup which has the extended Arceus Pokedex. So you had Pokemon like Machamp, you have Pokemon like Umbreon. So it was the Hisui region with the extended Sinnoh region, some Pokemon there. It's basically an extended Sinnoh Cup. And that's what we built for. That's what we did top teams for. And then I go to play at 4 p.m. during league turnover. And hello, Umbreon not allowed and Machamp's not allowed. And why is that? Tag Niantic support right at 4 and 6:13, 2 hours and 15 minutes after the event goes live, they decide to update the details of the cup section on their thing. So now it is a Pokedex number for the Hisuian region. So Pokemon like Machamp and Umbreon and let's just go to the rankings in the cup. Gligar, Mantine. I don't know if Mantine. I didn't see any Mantines today when I played. All these Pokemon, Lickitung, are not, Whiscash, are not in this meta. The top 6 Pokemon here, Mantine, Gligar, Lickitung, Whiscash, or I guess and Umbreon, top 6 ranked, even though there's a multiple here with Whiscash, were not allowed to be played. So Machamp wasn't in there either. So everything changed. So I had to pivot. And so this will be a good video to show you how do you pivot and what becomes stronger and weaker. So with a lot of this stuff banned, the main thing was Umbreon got banned and not banned. Yeah, well, not allowed. Umbreon and Lickitung. And to those two, Froslass becomes better in my eyes. So I immediately went counter Froslass first to a certain extent. I pivoted my Umbreon. So first of all, I pivoted my Machamp to a Toxicroak because I think you need a counter user in this meta regardless. Then what I did is okay, what are two Pokemon that can kind of deal with this and now deal with the new meta? And I'm okay, well, let's use two Pokemon that resist every the fast move like Ice. They can resist Ice. And so I went back-to-back Steel here. So it was Wormadam and Empoleon. So I did a couple battles with that. I'll go over the battles, and then I was okay, I'm not seeing as many Frostless. There was actually a pivot of my opponents to Cresselia and to I saw a lot of Driftblim. So I was okay, so I got to shift again to Electrode, and then I was okay. Then I started seeing all the dark poisons. You're gonna see that when Electrode comes out. I saw multiple dark poison teams with Skunk and Drapion. So I'm okay, weak to poison doesn't work, so let's put in a ground Pokemon. Gligar is now banned, so let's go with Gliscor. So this is the adjustment I had to make all day. So 3 different teams. Let's look at each of them, the pros and cons. So I was why? Let's just start with why I picked each of them. So you'll see 2 of the Pokemon are the same throughout, Empoleon and Toxicroak. And I think this core is very, very strong. You have Toxicroak, which is going to just destroy anything that's weak to Fighter, obviously. And then the Steel of Empoleon coming in clutch against stuff like Toxicroak's weak against, so against Confusion users, Flyers. So I think that pairing just works very well. You are double weak to ground typings with those. Empoleon, because of the steel typing, and Toxicroak because of the poison typing, are both weak to ground. So with that, you need to be careful. I did see, I'll go over the meta maybe towards the middle of this video. Gastrodon. I saw a ton of Mud Slap Gastrodons in this meta. And again, that is a ground Pokemon, which is going to do great. And it kind of gets a little bit of a bump with some of the Pokemon banned. Crest matchup here. Crest I saw everywhere too. And the problem now with this meta is that you were already going to have a condensed Great League meta. You now have a very condensed limited meta. I have 200 plus Pokemon built for the Great League. And when I was looking through for options to play with, there were 20. There were essentially 20 Pokemon I could use in this meta. And some of these aren't even good Pokemon. But just to give you an idea of what those Pokemon are, as I'm sure PvPoke will update the rankings based on this. But so Bastion, Abomasnow, Cresselia, Munchlax, Frostlass. I don't remember Golbat. Golbat may not be on there. Gliscor, Toxicroak, Gastrodon, Drapion, Empoleon. Was Lucario there? Yeah, Lucario's there because I was against one of them. Probopass, Electrode, Skuntank, Lopunny. I don't have one, but I went against a couple of those. And a Husian Quillfish I saw. And I went against one Tangrowth and one Magnezone. So there's about the 20 Pokemon that are available in this meta. And Drifblim. I didn't even talk about Drifblim. Drifblim and Glade. I saw one of those, at least one or two of those today too. But that is essentially the 20 Pokemon that you are now limited to in this meta. Which makes it and Pachirisu if you have one. But again, very, very few people will actually have a fully built out one. It makes it a very, very limited meta, which causes problems when there's going to be just certain Pokemon that will dominate. And Empoleon is one of them. I found Empoleon to be the safest Pokemon in this meta. The waterfalls chip pretty much everything. And again, the only thing the waterfalls aren't really going to hit in this meta is grass, which you have drill peck coverage for. So Empoleon is truly like I don't know what the rankings are going to be, but for me, having played today, I would put Empoleon as my number one Pokemon. It is safe. You can often move it, go to the 2 shields and just take it because the waterfall damage is so overpowering. You have the Hydros, which are chipping. It's very, very, very glassy. Again, this thing is not great in open Great League because it is so glassy. Toxicroak is another one that I would put in the top 5. Just the counter user damage, having Shadow Ball. Again, with Cresselia everywhere, with a decent amount of Frostlass, with people using Drifblim, having that Shadow Ball coverage as your second move is huge and a must. And a lot of the times, like this scenario, I double shielded there because I knew that my win condition was Toxicroak with energy advantage. So if you get Toxicroak with energy or shield advantage, it's huge. But again, this is one where it's like you're resisting their fast move. And as you're going to see when I probably let the second move go, these Grass Knots do well over 50% on Empoleon, even though it's just a neutral move. And this is a non-stab move from Crest. So that just shows you how glassy. There's no reason to throw a Drill Peck here. I think that was just a mistake on my part. Yeah, there's no reason to throw there. That was just a mistake on my part. Hopefully I just realized that I still have my Windows capture open. So hopefully during that, when I open the rankings, that they just weren't on screen. Yeah, in terms of Empoleon's stat product, it's quite bad for the Open Great League. 125 attack, 115 defense, 122 stamina, right? So 115, 122 on the back end defense and stamina is not good. 1778 overall stat product. And in general, I say if you're going to have that low of a stat product, you better have a killer move set. And unfortunately, Hydro Cannon, great move. Drill Peck, decent coverage move. Same energy. It's the same energy, but like only 65 damage, which Hydro, which is 96 damage. So it's not even close. It just gives you that coverage. So the coverage is the key there. It's not the 1.63 damage per energy. It's the coverage. But again, Waterfall is hard to hit, it's super hard hitting fast move, but just a little slow on the energy generation overall, and a 3-turn fast move at that. So I still think it's one of the best in this limited meta with like the 20 Pokemon you're going to see. Again, resisting the poison, resisting the psychic on Cresselia, resisting all the ice moves. Grass would be neutral here, but resisting the ice moves, doing good against like the grounds like Gliscor, doing well against like a lot of the flyers in general. So Empoleon, great. Toxtricity, great. Wormadam, I just saw too many of those dark poison, like the dark, like dark poison skunk and Drapion came out too many times. And then like against Cresselia, you think you would win that matchup having a super effective bug bite, but it's not even that good. So I was like, okay, this Pokemon's not amazing. Electrode was nice. I think you're going to see in a couple of these matchups, Electrode does sweep here. But it's one of those things where it's like Wild Charge is never going to one-shot in most scenarios, that you probably need a second. And I say that just as I think I'm going to maybe one-shot something here. Or do I get to like 3 moves overall? They're going to get out. Oh, it's a one-shot because it's a water Pokemon. Okay, yeah. Yes, if you throw a super effective Wild Charge against a water Pokemon, it's going to one-shot. So that's not an issue. But against most other neutral matchups, it will not one-shot. So you need 2 Wild Charges, which then absolutely nerfs your defense, which makes you just vulnerable to any move, which I think happens in one of these matchups, either when I was talking here or coming up that I Wild Charge and then they like resisted Mud Bomb me to take me out. So good lead. Drapion again. Driftlin, good lead. Drapion. These crunches will hurt, but like the waterfalls are charged. Like I could stay in this match if I want, but it just kind of makes sense to get in here, get energy, have a Shadow Ball coming out. I remember baiting one. Probably not going to bait here because this I will probably let it go. I'll live, but like 1 HP, 2 HP, yeah, pretty low there. So if the Driftlin comes back in, it's an instant Shadow Ball. There's no point of baiting. They're going to take me out immediately. This will do a ton of damage. So they do shield. But now I can get my Empoleon on it. They're both okay. I was like, was that bad fast move timing? No, they're both 3-turn fast moves, so there's nothing you can do to stop that move going through. It's going to go through no matter what, just like my waterfall went through there. I blow this one. Yeah. I should be throwing this Wild Charge already because I'm shielding. Because if I threw the Wild Charge, I would have grabbed the shield from them before they threw a Mud Bomb. But I didn't. And now, as you're going to see, Wild Charge, and then we CMP, and they take me out because my defense is lower. So I kind of threw that one. I gotta throw that Wild Charge earlier to force that shield. Drapion, again, resist the poison. Crunch, still going to do like 50%. But again, the waterfall damage is so overpowering. It's one of those things where you now decide if you want to take Switch or not. So it depends on what your back Pokemon are if you want to take Switch. The only one I haven't talked about yet, because it is on team number 3, and we are now on team number 3, is Gliscor. And Gliscor is an interesting one, because everyone's using Gligar because it just has, like, it got 3 buffs, right? The Wing Attack, the Aerial Ace, and the Dig all got buffed. And with those 3 buffs and having more bulk than Gliscor, because Gliscor is the evolution, and Gligar, I have to bait here to win. So I CMP bait, and then I get to a Shadow Ball to win. My really only chance of actually winning this matchup and not having a super effective ice on my Gliscor. But Gliscor is an interesting one because it got the Wing Attack buff like Gligar. Its movesets are Earthquake, which is obviously a good move, and then Night Slash. So the non-step Night Slash is an interesting one. It's it's just a bait move, right? It's a bait move that doesn't hit hard, but you're going to see a couple times that it did actually come through in the clutch, being able to throw something just quick. Like I won a few matchups here, just being able to go straight Night Slash. I mean, there is Crest, there is Frostlass, which you can hit super effective against with this move. But a couple of these, I got a couple boosts today too, which kind of helped. And Munchlax. Did I say Munchlax in my list? Yeah, Munchlax is still available. I don't think Snorlax will not be though. I'm pretty sure. Again, I have not played these games. I stopped at red and yellow and gold, I guess was the ones I played when I was a kid. I did not play anything since then. So I actually do not know what are actually in this decks. You're going to see so I'm getting non-stab lick down, and now they're going to throw a resisted body slam. So I basically just got non-stabbed, licked, and body slammed resisted down. And I had to burn a shield. So it's just like brutal. Gastrodon was everywhere. Gastrodon's an interesting one. There's a lot of things weak to ground. 2 of them on my team. Empoleon Toxicroak. The poisons that I talked about earlier, Drapion and Skunk. So it has quite a lot of play and it's good in neutral matchups. Flyer, which I have here, is one of the things that's going to cause it problems. They're going to get a move off and they won't take me out before. Oh, no, they won't take me out before here. So Moonblast, Future Sight would take me out, obviously, but a Moonblast will not because I'm neutral because I'm half poison. So I get the Shadow Ball off, which is huge because now it is in Night Slash range. And I've got to move and I'm going to win CMP here. So I will Night Slash, take this out. I may get the boost here if I remember. Yeah, boosted. So I'm like, maybe a boosted Night Slash will take this out. Gastrodon's kind of tanky though. And it's not quite to take it out, but I get to a third one. And that's the thing with Night Slash. It is a nice bait move that also can still chip and take your opponents out. So it was nice there. Frostlass, good lead-ish. They can still get 2 Shadow Balls off, and you can't really live a Shadow Ball, so it's one of those things where I just take it to the 2 shields, right? Those waterfalls are chunking. I'm going to grab a shield. They will be get to 2 Shadow Balls. And you need to make a decision. Do you want to let this go and just come in with some of your back Pokemon? Which, no, my back Pokemon suck against Frostlass. So I'm definitely trying to keep switch. There is a Toxicroak. So this is good. Let's see if I shield or let it go. I should let it go. Yeah, I have to let it go. Because I'm going to win switch anyways here. So I'm not worried about that. But there's no point of shielding if a Frostlass is just going to come in and farm. And I got the second boost, which allows me to take this out. In comes a Bastiodon, which you're going to see here. I thought I can get to an Earthquake. I cannot. That takes me out before I get the energy, but now I get nice alignment, and I'm probably still switch locked. So I am just taking these moves. Flamethrower, it's Bastiodon. It's not going to hurt too much. Out comes a Frostlass. Frostlass is low enough that it's basically just in Mud Bomb range. So throw that, instant swap. They, I guess, are not at a move yet. And did they just lose CMP there, or are they going for another one? I don't know what happened there. But yeah, and then it's just an easy win here. So this is the team I had the most success with. I was at 2850 to start the day. I probably went down to like, with the first 2 teams, maybe like 2805. And then I chipped back and went last set I had a 4-1 with the bottom team. That I'm probably back around like 2850-ish. So sitting there, which is pretty good, heading into tomorrow. I actually have not. It's 9:15. I'm shooting these and I got to finish my battles. I still have actually a few more battles to go today. So I got to do that after I upload and do all this stuff. The grind of a content creator who's also a full-time career job and a dad. Gastrodon again. I know it has Water Pulse and I know that it would ship a decent amount, so I'm going to have to shield. and they get the shield from me, but that is a good shield because it actually takes a while to get to that move. So they just let it go, which makes sense. They got a shield. But then they gave up switch, and I have, oh yeah, well, they don't have much left anyway, so that is it. Yeah, stupid Niantic. Messed up this league again. And again, it just goes to show you how they always, like, they don't care about this aspect of the game. The leagues, besides all the constant bugs that always happen, this game is just riddled with inconsistencies. And multiple times they have messed up league turnover. Every single week there seems to be an issue with league turnover. And multiple times per season, they're like, oh yeah, we screwed up what this league actually means. So it's frustrating, but you know, you'll live with it. So that is it. I have a Great League video already planned to go. Because again, I have a lot of Great League teams from last week. I have like 2 or 3 more banked. So you'll probably get a video this afternoon too if you want to watch that Great League. So maybe one more of this league, maybe with like Cress or Drapion or something like that. But otherwise, I think we are going to go to Open Great League for the remainder of the week because this is a pretty bad meta. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.